today's content. So thanks so much for joining us today for this EDGE webinar on IEEE DataPort for institutions, accelerating research efforts. We're so excited to welcome folks from really all across the world today to learn a little bit more about EDGE and IEEE DataPort and our partnership and what DataPort can do to accelerate research. So with that, I will get out of the way and I'll invite Farouk Garamani from the EDGE team to share a little bit more about EDGE and the context of why we're pulling folks together and why we're so excited to work with IEEE DataPort. So Farouk, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Adam. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Associate Vice President for Research, Innovation, and Sponsored Programs at EDGE. In my role, I engage from a research and workforce development perspective. I serve as a strategic advisor to higher education leaders to help translate vision for supporting research collaborations and innovation into actionable strategy, leveraging regional and national advanced technology resources. EDGE is a nonprofit, member-based research and education network and technology partner serving the region with advanced technology solutions for over 2 decades. Next slide, please. EDGE membership includes higher education, research, government, healthcare, K-12, the libraries, and nonprofit organizations. As a full technology services organization, we provide high-performance network connectivity that is purpose-built for supporting high-end research and advanced educational technologies. EDGE also relies on its extensive partnerships and relationships to meet the needs of member institutions. We continually scan the environment, conduct research, and provide thought leadership to help members to gain insights into the most productive use of technology investments. Next slide, please. As new tech models are emerging, enabled by new technology capabilities, high performance networking and computing for research, scientific collaborations require a networking infrastructure that can quickly and transparently move large data sets between locations. Excuse me. Melissa, I think your email is showing up on the screen.
I'm not seeing that. I apologize. Shall I stop sharing?
I didn't catch it either. I was just seeing the slide. I think.
Yeah, I just see the slide as well.
Oh, okay.
I think we're okay.
The quantity of structured and unstructured data in a data science and analytics driven world, the size, complexity, and the rate of data capture have grown explosively. Drivers of this growth include experiments, observational studies, scientific instruments, simulations, and a tidal wave of unstructured data in the form of emails, videos, images, internet transactions. Ubiquitous role of research computing and data and scientific discovery and scholarship across all disciplines. The trend, which is encouraged by funding agencies toward multi-institutional, multi-investigator projects requiring shared access to low latency, high bandwidth networks, data repositories, advanced computing resources, and specialized research tools. Many campus and data center networks are designed to support a wide variety of organizational missions, have not been designed to handle the movement of large data files generated by big science. There's also a need for cybersecurity and especially federated access and complex identity management schemes. In addition to strategic investments in high performance network connectivity and trusted technology solutions to support the needs of the research community, the EDGE discovery practice, a technology-based research and discovery framework is dedicated to supporting data-intensive research and educational programs. And the strategic partnership with IEEE to joint promote and make widely available the IEEE DataPort data management platform is significant to fulfilling the mission to support the research community. I now turn the session over to Melissa Handa, Senior Program Director at IEEE, who will provide detailed information about IEEE DataPort.
Thank you, Faru. Thank you for the nice introduction, and appreciate EDGE hosting this webinar. And I welcome everyone who's taking time today to learn more about our data platform at IEEE called IEEE DataPort. It is a full-service data management solution that we bring to institutions, and we're going to share some of the capabilities, functionalities, and benefits of the platform today, and answer any questions that you might have. I believe many of you are already familiar with IEEE. We also, like EDGE, are a nonprofit organization, a global organization with over 400,000 members. And we work across all areas of technology. Many of you might be familiar with IEEE publications or IEEE conferences, and hopefully you've already realized the benefits of those. We're now expanding and bringing a data platform, which is now IEEE DataPort. And like our other aspects of the business, we are crossing all areas of technology, engineering, computing, and well beyond that. We even have an organization which we call IEEE Future Directions. And this slide is just an indication that we are also following emerging technologies such as blockchain or future networks or quantum computing. So, you know, we continue to gather all the input from the academic community and industry, and try to provide leadership and opportunities for collaboration in all areas. I wanted to start out today by providing some information based on IEEE research. And these research trends are really driving the need for IEEE DataPort. We did find in a recent study that over 40% of all of the IEEE conferences, magazines, and journals were putting in place or already had in place a policy to support computational reproduction of published results. So we are supporting research reproducibility through many of our conferences, magazines, and journals. The need to publish research data, of course, is at the heart of supporting research reproducibility. So that was one of the driving forces for creation of IEEE DataPort. Now, of those 40% that had a practice in place or planned to have a practice in place for reproducibility, we found that about half of them facilitated code submissions and slightly less than half were facilitating data submissions. But we also found out that a lesser percentage were able to offer a formal infrastructure for accepting and storing these artifacts. And only 23% were able to assign a permanent identifier to artifacts. So IEEE DataPort took this input, and we are now a data platform which can support any institution, any publication, any organization with a location and a formal infrastructure to store and manage data. And of course, we also assign a DOI to all of the data sets that are uploaded. And some additional research that you might be interested in, we found that early and mid-career researchers are the group that's most likely to use tools like IEEE DataPort. These tools, researchers are looking to help them secure more funding, support their research efforts, and publish more than just an article. Now, as you saw with the research reproducibility plans, researchers want to publish data, code, and other artifacts with their articles. And of course, IEEE DataPort can support that. We also found that there is a rising trend of research data being published. I think 5 years ago, we were probably seeing researchers under 10% were publishing their data. But this has risen dramatically, over 200% in the past 5 years. And there's now a much larger percentage of researchers that want to publish their data or need to because of funding agency requirements. We also see a trend in publishing open access. And open access can apply to publication of manuscripts or publication of data. And IEEE DataPort, from the very beginning, was established as a platform that would support open access data publishing. So some very interesting research, and this is what really drove IEEE to develop IEEE DataPort. So when you think about your own institutional needs related to data publishing or supporting your researchers, we've heard from many of the DataPort users that institutional initiatives and institutional goals require platforms that will help them achieve those goals. So these are the top items or top priorities that usually come to our attention when we're talking about benefits of IEEE DataPort to institutions. So let me go through these. Just from the very beginning, global exposure is very important, not only to the individual researcher who would like to have their research exposed, but for the institution, they are able to brand data sets that are loaded into DataPort with their institutional logo, and that will bring the institution global exposure. Publishing open data, I mentioned that before. That is an option for any institutional member. You can meet your open data objectives by publishing data as open access data, so it's available to all users. The storage capacity of IEEE DataPort is quite high. We allow each data set to be 10 terabytes for the institutional customers. So you may have, hundreds of researchers that want to upload their data, and for any data set that they want to upload, they can put 10 terabytes of data into the platform. And you can have multiple data sets, and you can have multiple files within your data sets. We're intended, to support big data. And if you have any specific needs over the 10 terabyte limit, that also can be supported by working with the IEEE DataPort team. Going back to the left-hand side, joining data communities, I have a slide on that coming up, but we are seeing a collaborative environment appear through the users of IEEE DataPort. Things like machine learning, AI, those are very large data communities now, things that you might be interested in. But there are many different areas where data communities are forming, and we think it's benefiting the entire research organization. Meeting funding agency requirements, that's at the heart of this. We know that there are specific requirements that every researcher is facing, every institution is facing. We are helping not only on the front end with the data management plan creation tool, which of course is needed to secure additional funding, but also on the back end, where we are providing a platform in which you can store your data, make it accessible, make it open access if necessary. So we know the requirements are stringent, and they're coming to the forefront now across the globe. And we are ready to support those funding agency needs that you have. Accessing other research data sets, of course, is important. Often those in data science curriculums are looking for data sets to analyze. If you're in a particular field of study, it's interesting to see what other data has been published and what others are doing with it. Sharing data and getting feedback. Of course, this is a great platform for getting comments. There is a private way to communicate with the data owner, so questions can be asked if something needs to be clarified. We've seen things where people are looking to collaborate. So that communication channel that's established on the platform is very important to serving collaboration. Back over to the left on the bottom, supporting research reproducibility. We talked about that before. Providing data with a published article, of course, helps support research reproducibility. And in DataPort, you can also upload code or scripts that facilitate the research reproducibility as well. We have a data competitions module on IEEE DataPort where many are using this to try to get innovative solutions to some of their analysis issues. And I'll show you an example of this later in the presentation. Linking your data directly to your manuscript is important to many. In IEEE, on the IEEE Explore platform, we have over 800 articles that already have data in IEEE DataPort. So if someone is reading the manuscript, they are able to link out directly to the data to take a look at that artifact associated with the article. And we think that strengthens the article, supports research reproducibility, and overall it's just beneficial to the research community. And last but not least, IEEE DataPort can help institutions save costs. You can eliminate the need to develop your own platform and make a capital investment in your own data platform at your institution. We already have a platform established that can be leveraged, and not only can you avoid those capital costs up front, the operational costs or management costs of having your own platform can also be avoided by leveraging IEEE DataPort. So as I said, these are some of the benefits that we hear most often that institutional members have brought to our attention. Okay. So this slide really just shows you the home page of IEEE DataPort. This is just a screenshot, but you will see that it's branded as IEEE. We have main functions in the top menu. Data sets would be where you would go to explore data sets and access data sets. Competitions is the data competition module. And submit a data set is an easy to use module where you can upload a data set related to your research. The platform itself has a lot of helpful information, FAQs, instructions, explanations of benefits that you can get. So I encourage you all to go to the URL shown, IEEE-dataport.org, if you haven't already been there, to explore the site. But overall, we are looking to help all institutions with a platform that will enable all researchers, no matter what their discipline, to store their data, access other data, manage data long-term. Okay, this is an example of some of the data communities that are forming in IEEE DataPort. You can see the most populated one on the bottom, machine learning. The type is a little small, I understand, but machine learning has over 600 data sets on the platform already. So there's a very strong collaborative community around machine learning that's growing on DataPort. And you go from there: artificial intelligence, image processing, computer vision, power and energy. We are getting a lot of data sets across our 25 different technical categories that we have right now. And those categories are also expanded from time to time. But this gives you a sense of the volume of data sets that we're collecting in specific areas. Okay, so what exactly is IEEE DataPort? So as shown in this slide, DataPort is intended to be that interface between many different types of institutions and their data needs, and we store data in the cloud. The interface is very easy to use. We do provide a digital object identifier. We have integration so that at least with IEEE publications, you can easily link your data set to your article that is being submitted for publication. We can link a data set to any published article, whether it's published with IEEE or another publisher, your data can still be linked. We just have an easier process within IEEE. Making data accessible, data owners retain the copyright and ownership rights to their data, but a CC BY license, a Creative Commons license, is assigned to the data set once it's published on DataPort. And this means that others can use the data set, but of course they must cite it appropriately if they are going to use it. And that is something that we facilitate through DataPort. There's a great search capability and metadata cataloger on the platform. Again, the 10 terabyte capability or capacity for each data set, and the data competitions module. So again, those are some of the benefits, but all types of institutions, whether you're in an academic setting, a pure research setting, a government agency, part of industry, or part of the data analytics community, all institutions can benefit from DataPort. We currently have about 1.8 million global users. So when I talk about getting exposure for your institution's research, you know that it's going to be getting broad exposure. And there are about 3,000 data sets on the platform currently. I also just show that any type of research data can be published. It does not have to be engineering related. It can be social science related, biomedical data, whatever type of data you have. And any format of data can also be supported by the platform. Okay, what type of benefits will your researchers get from IEEE DataPort? So we know that research is showing that published articles that have data get more citations than articles without data. I have a double asterisk on this element. I know it's very important for everyone to get citations, and I have a link to 2 articles shown on the lower right of the slide that you can, link to and investigate later. The diagram is just a simple diagram. The first piece showing citations, number of citations if data is not provided, and then the elevation of citations if data is provided with a published article. So I know that's very critical to all researchers. Currently, about 25% of the existing data sets on DataPort are linked to IEEE Explore articles or other publisher articles. So we are very proud that it is supporting research reproducibility, and we think this is a benefit and strengthens the research that's published and gives it more depth. We have a mechanism within IEEE so that those that are uploading an article in 150 of our publications can easily upload their data when their manuscript is being uploaded. That's to facilitate getting the data artifact with the article. Researchers get to collaborate, again, using that communication channel that I indicated was available. We see, people commenting on data, asking for clarifications, providing feedback, looking to collaborate. It's nice to see, when you have your research data published, that people are looking at it, using it, a lot of comments, thanking people for publishing their data. So we, as IEEE, that's one of our goals, to promote collaboration. And the DataPort platform definitely supports collaboration across all technical areas. DataPort is integrated with ORCID. It's an option for someone to put in their ORCID ID, but if they choose to, the data set that's published can be added to their ORCID list of published assets. And we also know that thousands of people are participating in data competitions and data challenges. And this is a great module in the platform where you can upload a data set, indicate what the challenge is or what the objective is that you would like to see from analysis of that data, and invite either a select group to participate in the data competition. It could be a class, for example, a university classroom could be challenged to come up with their results for the data competition, or you can open up your data competition to the global technical community. And in DataPort, of course, researchers are encouraged to include other documentation that will help others understand their research. So if you have visualizations or, as I noted, code or scripts, those can be uploaded with the data set. So when you think on the institutional level, so for the institution as a whole, DataPort can help you meet your institutional data objectives. Maybe you are looking to ensure that all of your researchers are consistently sharing their data, are consistently, meeting those funding agency requirements. Or maybe you have an open access initiative, and DataPort can serve a clear role in helping you meet those open access data initiatives. It's an easy way to get compliance with funding agency and government-based requirements and mandates. So if you are struggling or you're looking for a consistent solution, DataPort can definitely help in that regard. All researchers would have an option to publish as open access. So an institutional subscription, a premium institutional subscription that includes a set of open access uploads would be open to anyone in your institution. And if they have a need, they would be able to leverage the open access capabilities included in the institutional subscription. So wouldn't require any interference or extra effort from librarians or research department leads. It would simply be available to all researchers. And so hopefully that will make it very easy for you to help researchers publish their data as open access data. Again, this is a data management solution that does not require a lot of capital or additional expense at your institution. Why rebuild when there's something available that can already meet your needs. And also the exposure level is high. And, we, as I mentioned before, we can brand as an option your data set submitted by your institution with your institutional logo. So that's important to many institutions that have a focus on research, or those that are growing their research capabilities. It would be, branding right on the DataPort site in conjunction with data sets uploaded by your members. And again, this is a solution that IEEE provides. And if you know IEEE well, it's a longstanding organization, trusted globally, a not-for-profit. And we, have developed this specifically to serve the research community. We put it out for, everyone's benefit, and we are hoping that your institution will be among the many that will utilize it. Okay. There are two institutional subscription products that we are offering at this time. The first one is a basic institutional subscription. This is an annual subscription. It would be available to all institutional members. Of course, you can browse and search data sets on the platform, and you would have access to all of the data sets. Whether the data sets are open access or not open access, your members would have access to all of the data sets. You get the 10 terabyte per data set limit, but we allow you to upload an unlimited number of non-open access data sets with the basic institutional subscription. You get the branding, data competition module, and an institutional dashboard, which can help you understand how your institution is using the platform. The premium institutional subscription is the other product we have, and this includes everything in the basic institutional subscription, plus really it's focused on open access capability. If you have open access initiatives in your organization, the premium institutional subscription will include a set of open access uploads. The base pricing for the subscription includes a set of 20 open access uploads, but that quantity can be modulated based on your specific needs. The data management plan creation tool, which I briefly mentioned earlier, this is part of the premium institutional subscription. We want to facilitate those that are looking to secure funding, and therefore we have a data management plan tool on the platform that can be leveraged. Some people, often struggle with what should be in my data management plan. And we are working to have specific data management plans customized to different government agencies as we move forward. Another key feature of the premium institutional subscription is enabling private data sets. So we have heard from those in many institutions where they're currently working on their research, and they would like to have a private data set that could be shared with maybe their select research group or research team while they're doing their research. Later on, the data may be published, but for the time being, they want a private data set that can be viewed only by a specific set of researchers. And that is possible with the premium institutional subscription. You get enhanced dashboards, of course, adding things like the private groups or data management plan usage, citations. So that is something that any institution would be interested in. It's on top of showing who is using the platform and what data sets have been uploaded from the institution. And finally, data set citations are displayed. Again, if you have, branding on your data sets, you will begin to see the wealth of information, including views, citations, et cetera, that can come with each data set that your institution uploads. So again, 2 products. One is basic, that's focused on accessing all of the data on the platform. And then there's the premium, and that's focused on providing, some specialized capabilities like the private data sets, but the real focus there is supporting open access initiatives and providing a value to the institution by including some of those open access uploads. Okay, at this time, I would like to show a demo, if I may, of the DataPort site. I will try to, I think I will stop sharing and I will try to share again. So let me stop sharing. Can you see my screen now?
Not seeing it yet.
Not yet? Okay.
You should be able to click share and then the browser that you're launching the demo out of.
Yes, I'm going to, let's see. Are you seeing the screen now?
Yes, got it.
Okay. All right. Great. So again, I am logged into DataPort in this view. I have an admin, bar up at the top, but you will see everything else on the screen if you are a user of DataPort. And this is the home page. It's quite simplified, I would say. We have the 3 main areas that a user can go to. Data sets, as I indicated, is where you look for specific data sets. Competitions is a competition module, and submit the data set is where you will upload a data set up to 10 terabytes in size. So as I said, there's a lot of information on the home page. If you want to learn more about, some of the benefits of DataPort or how to access data sets, there are a lot of instructions, there are FAQs. We try to make it as easy as possible for all users to use the platform. But when you get to the platform, you will see these are the most recent data sets that are uploaded. In many cases, the user is putting in a customized image. So you're able to see their image, and we have some standard images, as you can see. But you can look at, any of these data sets, that you are interested in. What I wanted to show, just as part of a demo, are some of the ways that you can search for a data set. So I am going to go into the data set area. Okay. So if you're looking for data, you have the capability to put in specific search terms, look at the different categories of data, look at data set types, like do you want all data sets or just open access data sets. You can look at the data set categories that we have over on the left. And this also comes with, how many data sets are included in that category. So let me just click on one category to show you what you would see if you went into biomedical and health sciences. Okay, so this is a slightly different view of what you would see, but it shows all of the data sets in this category. It shows the image, it's the title, the description, and the views. So you can see this will be a long list of data sets, but this is how the data sets would appear if you go into a specific category. So now if I go back to the data sets area, you also can search by keywords. So I'm going to put in COVID-19. Okay, and you can see these are all the COVID-19 related data sets that we have on the platform. So you might have a particular field of study that you would like to search for. You just put in a search term and you would be able to get that information. Or, as I said, you can go by category. You also can go over here and just say, I want to see all open access data sets. And if you do that, the result will be all of the open access data sets on the platform. And open access data sets are labeled with the icon for open access. So you'll see each of these data sets on the page is going to be open access if you're looking to explore open access data sets. Okay. So you can even go in and maybe, let's see if I can find a specific, maybe you were looking at one before and you want to find that data set again. Because there are, over 3,000 data sets on the platform. So here I started to type in the title. I didn't have everything, but this is related to COVID-19. And if you end up clicking on the data set itself, this is what a data set page looks like. You get the title of the data set. You get a lot of metadata up at the top of the page. The authors, and many times, these are multiple author data sets, indicates when it was last updated. The DOI is shown right here, and that will always be referenceable and usable. If you want to share that with others, you can do that. If you want to reference it in your manuscript or publication, you can do that as well. We have information on data format content, links, license. Here you see that Creative Commons attribution, so others can use the data, but they must cite it. The number of views, the categories, and keywords. And all of this information, like categories, is selected by the data owner as they're uploading the data set. Keywords are uploaded by the data owner when they're uploading the data set. And then below, you will see an abstract for the data. In this case, it's talking about acknowledgments. This is related to a specific NSF grant. And then instructions on how to use the data. So you can see the data files over on the right-hand side of the page. And in this case, there are multiple files. Sometimes, we have data sets with weekly updates. Other times, it's just a single data set file that might be very large. But you have flexibility in terms of uploading data and then updating it. If you have data over time, you can upload additional files. So you can also see, some of the comments that, people are putting in. And a data owner can put in a comment or others can put in a comment. Okay, so that is what a data set would look like. If an institution is uploading the data set, we would also include their logo in the metadata portion of the data set page. Okay, so that is, the multiple ways you can search for data. Let me get into the competitions module for a moment. So this gives you information. You can initiate your own data competition. You can participate in competitions. I wanted to bring up an example of one which was related to electricity forecasting in the COVID-19 pandemic. It was very difficult when everything switched from working in an office to working at home to do energy forecasting. And this is something that the power and energy companies were working on vigorously. And this competition was putting out daily data and then challenging people to come up with forecasting techniques. You can see that this particular data competition got over 277,000 views, had many, many submissions and participants. And you can approve participants, you know, you can ask them to register and you can approve participants for the data competition. But this is just one example. It had a leaderboard, so you can see, you know, how many teams beat the benchmark that they were looking for. So it was a nice challenge. It really came out with information that was beneficial to the power and energy field. Okay, and finally, I wanted to show how one would submit a data set. So this process is also easy. I had just clicked into submit a data set, and then you're given an option. For institutional subscribers, again, you can put up to 10 terabytes, but there are three options that we show: a standard data set, an open access data set, and a data competition. So if an individual is using the platform, you can upload a non-open access data set for free, but an individual would have to pay $1,950 per open access data set upload. If you're an institutional subscriber with the premium option and you have 20 or more open access uploads included in your subscription, this would be free. Your users would just go directly to submit an open access data set. But let me get into just the standard data set, just to show you the type of information that needs to be provided in order to submit a data set. And it's very easy. And all users of the platform are, you know, we've had very few people that even had questions on, you know, how would I do this? How can I facilitate? And we just get more and more, you know, data sets on a daily basis. But you would put in, you know, data set authors. Here's where the ORCID ID is optional. Affiliation is optional, like what's your institution. Add another author if there are multiple authors. Data set title, category, and we ask that you include all that apply. So you might have something that's biomedical related and also COVID-19 related. So you would put in, you know, both of those categories if you so choose, but you're given the option. Then you can put in whatever keywords you think would be helpful in anyone searching for your data set, what data format you're using. If you have a related data set, that can be implemented also. And then you have the opportunity to put in links. This might be links to maybe a research project website, or it may be a link to a published article or related research. Whatever you want to put in the links, that is available, and you can put in multiple links. There's an option for putting in your funding agency. And then next step would be upload a data set image. And we do highly recommend a customized image for each data set. Then your abstract. Then you would move on and you would put in either a document that provides instructions, and that, you know, maybe that's easier. Maybe you already have a document that shows the instructions on how to use the data, or you can include instructions in the instructions field. And then last but not least, you're uploading your data set files. So you can use a new, choose your file if you already have it available and upload. You can upload multiple files, as I showed on some of the examples. And you can also upload code or scripts. We have a lot of individuals that are putting up their MATLAB scripts. And that is really the fundamentals of uploading a data set. So that is how the platform functions. It's very easy to use. And of course, it's designed to help you with your institutional needs related to data management. Okay. So I can stop sharing again and try to share the presentation once more. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Try to get it in. Let me just continue on because I really only have one more slide. So after hearing all of this information today on IEEE DataPort, we encourage you to reach out to us and to request perhaps a customized presentation or demonstration for stakeholders within your institution, or request an IEEE DataPort proposal. There's a lot more information on institutional subscriptions on the platform itself, but in response to this webinar, you're encouraged to use the contact link to EDGE in order to pursue these actions or to ask more questions regarding DataPort. And I thank you for your time, and I'll turn it back over to Farouk Garamani to see if there are any questions, Farouk.
Hey, and I can jump in and help with the questions as well. We've had a number of questions come through actually, which is great. Thanks everybody for participating and for your questions here. We had a few questions, I think a good place to start about curation. So one was, what kind of curation level do you support? And other just general questions around, are data submissions curated, or does IEEE have any kind of a hand in that?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's a very good question. And we do curation of the metadata that's associated with each data set upload. We do not review all of the detailed data, and that's for legal reasons. But in terms of the metadata for every submission, that is reviewed carefully. And we honestly, have most of the, a good amount of the data is associated with published research. And, so it is reputable data. But we haven't had many issues at all with any data that is inappropriate or is not purely research oriented. So we're very careful on our curation of metadata, and we believe that data sets that are there are valid, able to be used. And of course, we have the communication channels. Should anyone find anything out of the ordinary, they can always submit a comment to the DataPort team, or place a comment directly on the data set.
Great. And I think we can stop sharing if there's no further content on the slide. So that's great. Okay. Just a quick follow-up question there on how you're defining metadata. Is that dataset metadata, or is that administrative metadata, or what's the? Go ahead.
It's the dataset metadata that is input by the user who is uploading a data set. Okay. So when I was just going through the submit a data set process, all of that metadata that is submitted by the user, we would be reviewing, looking at it.
Got it. Thanks. a question on the data competition side of things. So do the data competitions support analysis in place, or would participants still need to download and then re-upload their submissions to the competition?
Well, competitions take many forms, but basically there is not a platform on which the analysis can be done unless you access the data set in AWS directly, which is our cloud storage provider right now. And data sets, especially the large ones, many people do access them directly in AWS. Just the access is what is provided by DataPort. If you want to do your own analysis on AWS, you can do that. Otherwise, you can download the data and perform your own analysis, or write your own scripts to analyze it. That's how it works. And you'd have to re-upload your analysis. And one of the benefits of the competition is all analyses get uploaded to the data competition. So if you're running the competition, it's very easy to analyze all these submittals. It's all in one place. So hope that answers the question.
Great, thanks. Let's see, another one came in around the reporting. So what type of metrics does DataPort provide for reporting, I guess, from the dashboards and things that you get to see on the back end?
For the institutional dashboard, we provide an administrator from the institution to see all of the users of the platform, when they last accessed the platform. It shows all of the data sets that the institutional members have uploaded, and that would include information on views, citations. It's a wealth of metrics that come with it. And as I mentioned, if there are data management plans that are leveraged by institutional members, the number of those data management plans and the individuals that have used it will be shown. Private groups would be shown. So there's a lot of information. It would all be available in one location. So it'd be very easy for the institution to understand how the platform is being used and who is leveraging it.
Got it. And I think we probably have time for just one more, and maybe we can take the rest of them offline and make sure we get responses out to everybody. But we had a few questions come in around publications. Are you able to does it have to be tied to the data in DataPort? Does it have to be tied to publication in an IEEE publication? And then also, does the data owner retain copyright to their data set if they upload it to DataPort, whatever the publication?
Good questions, very good questions. So data sets that are uploaded to DataPort do not have to be associated with a published research article. They do not. Many of them are, but that is not a requirement. We have many people who are in the process of doing their research and they want to upload their data sets, and this is prior to them writing a research paper. Anyone who uploads a data set retains the copyright to the data and retains ownership. All that you are doing by publishing it on IEEE DataPort is providing that license, that Creative Commons license, so others can use it. But of course, if they use it, they do have to cite the data set appropriately.
Sure. Well, great. That I think brings us to the end of our time here today. Thank you so much to everybody in attendance for joining us and giving part of your day, whether that's morning, afternoon, or night, depending on where you're at, and spending that with us. So we really appreciate that. And thanks so much, Melissa and Faru, for joining us and sharing your perspective and your knowledge in the space. Any parting comments or anything that you guys have before we break?
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for the participation, and we'll be following up with answers to those questions that we didn't get to.
Yeah, certainly, and we'll try and make as many of those available in the follow-up that we do as well. So thanks so much, everybody, once again, and I hope you have a great rest of the day and rest of your week. Have a good one.